Hey, and welcome to the Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast. This is the Able Geek, aka Able himself, but you can just call me Able. I am a gamer, a game collector, and a content creator. I've been gaming since the late 80s and decided to make this podcast with some like-minded and very cool people I met through gaming. In this very first episode, I will be joined by Brown Baymax and Bento Box Senpai, but you can just call them Baymax and Bento like I do. In this first episode, we will be discussing the survival horror game Dead by Daylight, which is a multiplayer game in which 4 survivors try to escape from a player-controlled killer. It's very fun, can be an addicting game as well. Would definitely recommend giving it a try if you've never played it before. And we're also going to do some discussions on E3, some E3 highlights, what we each saw in there, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we're looking forward to. So sit back and enjoy the very first episode of the Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, we're ready. We are live. All right, so going into some Dead by Daylight, Resident Evil, DVD XRE as the first topic for the first show. And we got a lot to say. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. First off,
all right. So
the
first off,
boxes.
First off, what do you guys think? Just go to the. I think the hitboxes have been a problem, but yeah, they haven't gotten a lot better. What do you think about the crossover, though? First of all, what do you think them bringing Resident Evil? Because I didn't think they were ever going to do a crossover that big, like Resident Evil. You know, I thought, okay, they're getting like, Freddy and Myers in there and things like that. I didn't think they're going to do a major game like Resident Evil and bring that in. Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, Silent Hill I think was like the stepping stone, and then I think that brought in like Resident Evil after that.
Yeah, because they started off with Pyramid Head and then Robbie the Rabbit, right?
Yeah,
that's how they did it for Silent Hill. They were kind of just testing the waters, and then they got a pretty big kickback, a positive kickback from it, from what I've seen. Minus the Survivor ones, like with Cheryl, looking kind of sad, but
yeah, I don't feel comfortable picking Cheryl. Just when I look at her, she looks too sad already. I don't want her to take any hits from a killer or get hooked. She just looks like she's had a rough life already.
She just needs a hug.
She does. We all need a hug. But yeah, I mean, I was happy they brought it over. I like. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I haven't played too much of it recently, like in recent years, but it's one of the games I grew up with. So to see like Leon and Jill and Nemesis and all that in there,
right?
It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
How about you?
I like it a lot too.
I mean, I like it a lot. Like I'm slightly disappointed on the killer. Like they could have chose. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Nemesis is a big staple into the game. Everyone thinks when you talk about Resident Evil, the first thing out of people's mouths is, "Oh, Nemesis." But they could have done. They could have picked a better killer. Like they could have done. What's it called? They could have done from Veronica, Code Veronica. What was her name? Oh
yeah.
I forgot what was her name. I think it's Alexis or something like that.
Yeah.
They could have chose her, or they could have chose other killers. But don't get me wrong, Nemesis is cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
Nemesis would have probably been like my second or third choice. I thought it could have been worse, and I was worried it was going to be like something worse than Nemesis. Like I'm kind of happy it was Nemesis and not like
Wesker.
Oh god, Wesker would have been too OP.
That would have been too OP. Yeah, he would have been like a survivor on steroids. He wouldn't be able to get out. But can you imagine though, Wesker's how fast he would move, and I mean it would just be crazy.
Oh, those dashes that he does, yeah.
Oh no,
yeah.
He would end up being like Blight then at that point.
Yeah, kind of like a Blight.
Yeah.
Blight Killer. Yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of happy with Nemesis. I'm not happy with his mechanics right now. At the PTB, we played a little bit of the PTB and we faced him a little bit, but now the game is live and it's launched, it's out there. We've been facing a lot of Nemesis,
Yeah.
and man, like I don't like to say everything's OP, but he just seems kind of OP right now.
Well, I believe the reason why behind that is because his fucking movement speed is terrifyingly fast.
Well, he's only at 150. 150 for movement speed. But,
yeah, but look
at he could pick up speed the more he upgrades.
Exactly.
His whip attack has some pretty good range. I don't know the exact range on it, but I'm getting whipped like over pallets. I feel like I'm about maybe, I think they go by meters, but I would say it's like 10 feet away, and I'm still getting smacked. So it's definitely, and then to have that speed, it's definitely a dangerous combination.
So
and then the zombies are just insane mechanic as a part of it.
Yeah, so each time he hits a zombie or hits one of us, and you hear that big, noise, that's him upgrading his whip, and it gets longer. Yeah. So I think his first upgrade, it destroys pallets, I think, or it doesn't destroy pallets, or it just extends.
I know one of them. One of his upgrades does eventually destroy pallets.
Because it's mutation rate 2. That's when he breaks walls and pallets. But once he reaches tier 3, the range is ridiculous.
But the hitbox for that range for the whip is so broken. Like if you bob and weave side to side, he can miss you and not hit you with it.
Yeah, I've had that happen in some instances.
And I was just reading here, like his mutation rate 2, it does destroy pallets, and then at 3, it increases the range. And then he has the zombies, which if you put the speed on the zombies as the add-on, it gets so annoying. I remember we were playing the other day. It was just like he was on the other side of the map, but the zombies were keeping us off gens because we're having to kind of loop them around too. We're having to
take them on a walk.
Take them on a walk, exactly. But I haven't played Nemesis though, so I don't know. From a killer's perspective, they would think, "Oh yeah, this is a, like a S tier killer or not." But
I mean, I wouldn't say he's S tier. I don't think.
Not yet, because he's not fully. He's not fully developed in a sense. He's still in the early stages.
Until they buff him in a later patch, and
right,
then he's going to be S tier. They're going to add another zombie.
I don't know if you noticed, the zombies spawn near a random hook every time, and usually there's how many hooks near how many gens, like 2 per gen, right?
Yes.
About
close to it.
Yeah. So imagine that, but like, I mean, we could counter it. Like, there's some things that I've seen, like Pebble or like Diversion in a sense, and Red Herring could definitely distract Tina and Tim the zombie,
Throw the pebble at them.
You just throw it at them, they're like
bonk on the head. Is that really their names, Tina and Tim?
No, we named them Tina and Tim.
Oh, okay. I thought they had names. I was like, wow. So I mean, and as far as like the his perks, his Lethal Pursuer, which gives you the auras. That one, I think it's interesting. It's kind of like an early barbecue and chili, but I don't feel like that one's too overpowered.
What, the Lethal Pursuer?
Yeah, perk? I mean, because you can survivors, if you're pretty stealthy, even if the killer gets your location at the beginning of the game, you're usually at the other end of the map, so you can usually move around and hide, and he's not going to find you. He'll just have a general idea, but you're probably going to have those survivors that do just run like crazy and leave scratch marks everywhere. So
like me. I'm not gonna lie, I do that.
No, same, dude. Like every single Nemesis game we've had, I always get fucking found first, and I hate it. I hate it.
We hear you scream across the map.
Yeah, I don't feel like his perks are overly like overpowered. I just think him as a killer, and then the fact that you have zombies kind of helping you out, makes him pretty effective. And I mean, the game, well, not the game, but the DLC just came out, and you already got some people that are getting pretty decent at Nemesis. But I can imagine Nemesis mains like a few months from now, after they got a couple hundred games under their belt, they're going to be very, very good.
Yeah, it's gonna
Right.
be disgusting because they're gonna mix different perks from each skiller. They're gonna test out the waters, and then from there, it's just gonna be what I'm gonna call it, a shit show.
Yeah.
But
And
I mean,
he's just a scary killer to go up against when you see him stomping at you. He's so thick. He's such a thick boy.
For real, dude. Like getting body blocked by him is not even a problem.
Yeah, any doorway, you're not going to get around him. And then especially in the, I think one thing that I don't like too much is the new map. I like graphically it looks nice, but mechanically, I think for survivors, especially if you get a zombie in the hallways, it's almost unavoidable. Sometimes you're gonna take a smack,
well,
Yeah.
and so it's
there's
almost like an instant hit.
But you got to look at it this way as well. There's multiple doors, multiple ways. So it's not
Yeah.
just, down the hallway and you're like, ah, shit, there's basically down the hallway. Oh, you have 3 ways to go. You either go left, you go right where the zombie's at, or you go straight. But
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
mean,
have to take like a quick turn. But then if you take a quick turn and you run into the other zombie, then
yeah, what the?
you're,
Oh my god! With my luck, I would.
I've done that where you turn like around a corner and they're right there. And then if he's chasing you, sometimes he can use the zombie to kind of sandwich you, and you can't really do much.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
what
for
about
some
the
people who play Nemesis or they just started playing Dead by Daylight and they don't know who the Nemesis character is, what's the lore behind it?
The lore behind Nemesis? A lot of people don't know. It's basically, I mean, he's a bioweapon that was created by Umbrella. And like people think, or people are gonna think, like in the movie, the live action movie, that it was taken by one person and then injected. No.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people jump into the game and think, but it happens.
Yeah. And he's technically like kind of like a spawn off the original Tyrant, wasn't he?
Yes. So you have the regular Tyrants from, like, let's say from the first game. I don't remember what Tyrant it is.
T103, right?
I think so.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's all twitchy, but his heart is exposed.
Yeah.
So from there, that's why they kept developing and developing. So you got the regular Tyrant, like the finished product, as Mr. X. And then you have the bioweapon of basically Mr. X is a cleanup crew, killing, survivors and such. The bioweapon was created to kill basically the STARS members. So Jill, you had Barry, Chris, Brad, and who else? Oh, Rebecca
Chambers. Yeah.
Yep. So they were aimed to basically Nemesis was aimed to kill them, and he was programmed for that purpose only. But from there it goes on where he mutates each time he's down.
And I honestly thought that the new killer was going to be Mr. X. That's where I was putting my money on.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were going to go like full Tyrant.
True, yeah.
I would have liked Tyrant. That would have been nice. Well, but I mean, I'll take Nemesis.
So you never know. They might come out with a legendary skin for what's it called? For Nemesis. That could be the original Tyrant.
Mr. X, all those.
Yeah, so they could do the Mr. X one. They could do the Tyrant from Resident Evil 1 with the exposed heart, the long fingernail twitchy person. Yeah. And then I mean they have opportunities to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what did they do with Leon? They gave him a skin, and then they were like, "Oh, here's Chris Redfield, guys."
And Claire, don't forget Claire.
As much as I like Leon and Jill, I do prefer Chris and Claire. So that's because in the original, like I played Chris, and then I played Claire in Resident Evil 2.
Mhm.
So those are kind of the ones that I always kind of had that nostalgia with. So I'm glad they brought him in, even as just as skins. And I honestly probably prefer that because I don't know if I'd want to deal with a whole new set of perks as well. Because you're learning
True.
these new perks for Jill and for Leon, and then if you were to bring in 2 new sets of perks, that would have probably been a lot. But what do you guys think as far as the perks for Jill and for Leon? I
Well,
guess let's
let's
start with Leon.
The flashbang.
So
dude,
yeah,
that
flashbang. After completing a percentage of overall generator repair, enter a locker while empty-handed and press the ability button to create a flashbang grenade to use to blind or distract the killer.
It's actually it
Definitely
comes
a
in
fun perk.
handy. So if you're running, so if you're getting tunneled,
When you get tunneled in DVD, Baymax, come on, let's
I'm always tunneled.
never happens.
But if you're getting tunneled, and then from there, let's say you find a jungle gym where you could loop and there's a locker,
Yeah.
you could basically loop them around, and once they get that bloodlust, throw the pallet down, jump into the locker. You can either, if you have head on, you can head him on and then drop the flashbang and blind him, and then just walk away slowly so it doesn't leave scratch marks. But with the
Yeah, you can be
flashbang,
very tactical with it.
it's a hit and miss right now.
yeah, because
So
sometimes it doesn't work.
yeah, exactly, where you can have the flashbang, you drop it, you could blind yourself, and then not blind the killer.
Yeah, because
Would
there's
you
been
say it's
instances.
comparable to the firecracker item? Would you say it's about the
Yes.
same?
So it's basically having a firecracker each match.
Yeah, because
But
there's
if
been instances where like I've been doing a generator and I know he's stomping up behind me, and I'm just like dee 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 pretending to be on it, and I'm like flashbang, and then he's still running after me. I'm like, dude, didn't you just get blinded right now? Like, why are you still after me?
Yeah, it's not going to be my favorite because I know when I've used firecrackers, I've only blinded myself and my teammates. So, I'm probably going to stick with Jill's blast mine. But
so the
Dude,
blast
other
mine
ones,
blast
comes in
mine is
handy.
nice. Yeah,
blast mine is nice. Yeah, that's one of my favorite in the game now. And when we were doing Kill Your Friends, and I was Legion, I think I flashed myself like 3 times, 4 times. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
annoying, like because you gotta wait for the blind to wear off, and then you still got to kick the gen if you want to kick it. Um, and then if you're running something like Pop Goes the Weasel, then that you risk that running out too. So like
Yeah.
if you maybe got a few seconds on it, and then you blind yourself, you can render that perk useless. But it depends, on the scenario. But that's always something. But I think though the perks that they gave these survivors are pretty good though.
Yeah. Bite the bullet from Leon is actually pretty useful if you're altruistic, paired up with like desperate measures,
Yeah.
and will make it, because it literally, like when you're healing somebody, everybody shuts up.
Yeah.
Like you can't hear any noise whatsoever. But the only thing that I have a problem with is like the 2% regression on it. Because that 2% can either make or break that heal and help you getting out or not getting out in the game.
True.
Yeah. Timing is like everything in this game, I think that's why like consistently staying on gens, aka gen rushing, is so important because a few seconds extra on a gen could be whether you make it out or you don't. And so just like stuff like that, you're healing, whether you can get a heal off before the killer comes in and gets you. There's so much timing involved that it's kind of like a race, to the finish.
Yeah.
But I think Bite the Bullet's pretty good.
So like personally, I would give Leon's perks like a 4 out of 5 on that one, because you can combine it with any other ones and it'd still be pretty prime in a sense.
Yeah. And then the last one he has is the rookie spirit. So complete a certain number of good or great skill checks while repairing generators to activate rookie spirit and reveal the auras of all regressing generators on the map. I mean that one's good if you got maybe somebody like Legion who's keeping you off gens, putting a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Really any killer that puts pressure on you in general on gens. that can come in handy. I don't know if I would use it personally. I would have to kind of work something out and see what I want to pair it with, but it can come in handy depending on your play style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 4 out of 5 is good. That's what I would give it to.
Yeah.
Pretty good at perks. And then for how about you, Baymax? What would you say as far as Leon's perks?
Leon's perks 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
They're good. I think I prefer, like, I only like the one perk that Leon has, and it's the flashbang.
Flashback, yeah. Probably the most fun perk.
Yeah. So, but that's why I say it's a 4 out of 5 from there. But Jill has the better perks.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because she has Blast Mine, she has Resurgence, and Counter Force as well. Because I think with the Resurgence, once you get pulled off hook, you're already halfway healed. And you just need to heal the rest of the way. And that's that. Let's say killer decides to let's say the killer decides to chase Abel. Bento comes and grabs me. Killer does a 360 and comes back directly to the hook. And the only thing Bento has to do, if he has a medkit, heal me real fast, and we're out of there.
Yep. Yeah. And you already know I have Will Make It, so it's like
even faster.
Yep.
So
definitely a great perk. And then I don't run self-care, but if you did run self-care, I think it would pair up well with that one, just because you can self-care that extra bit that you need. I'm not a Claudette main over here, but
Claudette,
but
to all you self-cares out there, please stop.
Yeah, if you do run self-care,
for the love of God, we don't bring borrowed time just because we want to.
Maggie.
We love you, Maggie.
And then we talked a little bit about Blast Mine, but Blast Mine basically lets you put a Blast Mine into the generator while you're after so much progression on it to blind the survivor blind the survivor. Hey, when they come up with a new update, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't doubt Behavior puts that in. You're gonna blind yourself with your
okay. So imagine Dragon's Grip and you have Blast Mine. That thing is so useful, dude.
Yeah.
Or like Tinker,
So you blind the killer. I meant to say, and it's an awesome perk. I like it. I mean, I think I'm going to use that one as part of my rotation because it's fun and it's a nice trolley kind of perk,
So Blast Mine is good and bad at the same time. Because if you're near that generator, let's say you're just near, you're crouching around, you're near the gen, killer goes, kicks the gen, blinds him, and blinds you at the same time. So you're sitting here going like, I can't see, he can't see, unless he's running Lightborn, then he's going to look at you looking around like an idiot.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think with both of these new perks that can blind the killer, I think we're going to see a lot more Lightborn in future games.
Oh yeah,
it might become a new meta. Yeah. And like just already with flashlights. I mean, it seems like more killers were running it already. Because I haven't been able to blind any killers lately. So I think with Blast Mine now and then Flashbang, I think we're going to see a lot more Lightborn.
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people are already running it, but you have those some survivors that bring 3 or 4 flashlights and then blind from each section. So
yeah, there's something satisfying though when a killer picks up a survivor and gets like 4 flashlights to each side or 3 flashlights to each side of the head.
Like
even if they're not doing anything, there's just something satisfying about it. Everybody's like, drop our friend.
Imagine having 2 flashlights and a flashbang. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's nutty right there. I mean, I was about to say, we did that in one match where it was, I had a flashlight and I think it was you, Bento, that had another flashlight, or it was either Kuro or Miggy that had a flashlight. I don't remember. One of us got picked up and you guys started beaming them from each section. I had to run out the exit gate.
Yeah, because he didn't know where the hell to look. He looked everywhere but up.
Oh, yeah. Can you blind from like a second level, like a second story?
Yes, you can.
You can.
So because you have that directional now, so you could let's say you're in the little playground in what's it called, the Freddy's map. If you're in that little playground, if you crouch and aim your flashlight up, you could put it through the little cubicle playground plastic thing and blind a killer.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow.
gross.
Yup.
Wow.
So
Toxic survivors.
I could be standing. Let's say there's a 2-floor building. I could be standing. If the killer's walking around, I could flash them from above,
Yeah,
and they'll be blinded.
it's insane. And then the last perk she has is Counterforce, which is the totem perk. Lets you cleanse totems faster. And then you also get to see the furthest totem for a few seconds after you cleanse that first one. So, I mean, that one, if you want to go totem hunting, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to make sure there's no Noed,
Or ruin.
which
I think that's
or
actually
ruin.
pretty good for Noed because, like, if you're in a pinch and you know someone already went down with Noed and you have
Yeah.
that and you're hunting for it, it's gone. GG's. We're getting out. Like,
Yeah.
good
And
luck.
then just the speed too. Yeah, when it comes to Noed, you want to find it and you want to get rid of it super quick.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, you're gonna have to forget your teammate and
Like,
and
sorry.
you know somebody's gonna be the lamb while you guys get out. But yeah, so it's pretty good. You know, I mean, you'd probably pair it with what, maybe inner strength,
Yeah.
maybe
that'd be
head
good.
on.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a pretty good combo. But yeah, it's not too bad. I think Jill's almost perfect. I would probably give it like a 4.5 out of 5. Definitely better than Leon.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. I agree with you.
Because also, if you pair it up with small game, it's like, I know where all the totems are.
Oh
That's
my
true.
God.
Yeah.
Because if you have that inner strength and small gain, from there, I mean, it's all totems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whatever perk. Oh, head on. Sorry, I can't miss head on.
What do you guys think of the police station as the new map?
We haven't had a chance to play it because
Yeah.
the map is
Well, we didn't
disabled.
in PTB. We played a little
PTB,
bit.
yes.
I don't know if they're going to change it much from the PTB, but
It's a
from
big
what I
map.
played, it's like a maze for me. I guess because I'm not used to it yet, but it's definitely going to take a bit to get used to. I think it's a beautiful map, though. I think it's the nicest looking map by far in the game. It just gets a little tight in there, some of those hallways and rooms. Yeah, I think survivor wise, it's going to take a while to get used to, get the looping areas. But for killers, I think for somebody like Blight, I mean, they're gonna have a field day and they're bouncing around everywhere.
Oh my, no, please.
Take a hillbilly in there.
No.
Hillbilly.
He would not be able to use this unless it's a long hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Not gonna-
about Myers with a scratched mirror?
Oof.
I would uninstall.
I would uninstall and then reinstall the next day, as I do every week. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some killers that definitely benefit from it. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like
Bubba.
Doctor would benefit from that too, honestly.
Doctor. I feel like Doctor is just good in every map. To be honest, with you. His ability is crazy.
Yeah.
With his
To
shock
find
AoE.
survivors. Yeah,
Mhm.
It's so stupid, but I mean, it's Doctor. It's understandable.
the way they kind of combined it with the entity, though, I think is pretty cool. I like the way they did that.
Mhm.
It almost looks like they're bringing in like that Resident Evil universe into, the fog. It's like it's taking over.
Right.
I could see the only reason why I could see it, the entities taking over, because remember Raccoon City is done. There's no that place got nuked.
Yeah,
I mean, not even a fly survived that.
Definitely not.
yeah, that's true. And so maybe this is just kind of like a, I don't know, like a memory of it,
Mhm.
or some kind of resemblance that's just in the fog now. So that's a good point. Does that mean that Leon and Jill and Chris and all them are dead too? What does that mean? Like,
No,
are they?
remember the entity pulls people.
Yeah,
So I mean, the portal opens,
Yeah.
gets you dragged in.
you're
So
stuck now in the fog.
you're living
Yeah.
you're living hell.
Yeah.
It's
I guess
like-
for Cheryl, she's kind of used to that, but
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
Silent
because
Hill is like the fog, you know?
it technically is the fog.
Yeah, maybe there's some
But
correlation there.
it's like how Myers got dragged into the fog. He walked in, but the entity can't control him whatsoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same with Oni, right?
I don't know
I
Oni's lore
I don't
much.
I never looked into Oni's lore that much either.
Because
Um,
that boy's track record is 1,000 kills pre-fog.
Jeez.
Versus Michael Myers only had like 5. Like what?
Bunch of teenagers.
oh my god! But still, that's just nutty. Like, how can
Yeah.
you not control killer?
Yeah. And then have we hit 5-year anniversary already with Dead by Daylight, or is that coming up soon?
No, I think it's this week that the 5 year anniversary is kicking up, or I
Okay.
think it's or next chapter, one of the two. But I think it's this week that they start, because I remember when it first came out, it was around this time I started playing.
Yeah. Yeah. I started like 2 years ago. I think it was like mid to late 2019. But I think it was right when I started playing right before they introduced the Endgame collapse,
Same.
somewhere around.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't like Endgame collapse was brought because survivors were being toxic
Not leaving.
and not leaving. It was that bad. Like I can't say anything because I did the exact same thing. We had a tunneling killer. I didn't want to end the game. That's their problem. That was
Right.
before
Yeah.
that was before they introduced Hatch.
Oh, okay.
I started
Yeah.
playing around when they introduced Oni.
Oh, okay.
So you're fairly new.
Yeah, that's like
So
about like right when I met you guys, I believe.
about a year ago, maybe.
Almost. Yeah.
So yeah,
Because
I don't think I was good enough. Like right when I started playing, but right before Endgame collapsed, I don't think I was good enough to really troll the killer. I was still trying to figure out what to do. I don't even know. I don't even think I knew why I was repairing gens. I was just repairing them. But it's come
I
a
was
long
trying to
way. Like
360. That's what I was trying to learn.
hey, back then you could actually 360 better. I
Yeah.
think back then because the range of motion was a little bit better for survivors. But what do you guys think as far as like the state of the game right now, and like what would you like to see in the future?
they need to improve a lot. So
Yeah.
they like don't get me wrong, when it first came out, yeah, it had its small issues, but it was playable. Like each time the game gets an update, something breaks into the game.
Mhm.
Like they're at first the game was heavily on survivors.
Mhm.
Literally, like everything was survivor. Um and then it started shifting away from there because survivors were being toxic. Like they added the end game collapse, they added Hatch, they took away from survivors instant repairs on generators with brand new part when it was hard to get brand new part.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep changing it. Like I I still love the game since it came out, but at the same time I'm hating it at the same time.
It's a love hate
Because
relationship.
exactly, it's like an ex-girlfriend you can't get rid of. But
Just keep
but
getting honeypotted.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. How about you, Bento, or Baymax? What would you like to see though, like going forward?
Forward, I would like to see hopefully if they fix hitboxes still. The end, I would like them to fix, getting pulled out of a locker. Let's say you head
Oh
on.
my god.
Sometimes head on doesn't work and they still grab you from
Yeah.
midway from a freaking locker, and you're sitting here going like, what the hell just happened?
And you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead Hard definitely needs improvement.
Dead stop.
Yeah. Dead stop. Yeah, I think everybody would agree on that. I don't know how many times I've been taking down mid animation on Dead Hard, and I'm exhausted on the floor. It almost makes the perk unusable sometimes. And there's times when it works well, and there's times when it's not working at all. Probably just depends on the connection and the killer, etc. But I think the best way just to solve that is just make sprint burst button activated, and there you go.
Yes. They need to make that, like, instead of you just like pressing the button and you start running, then you're already exhausted. But what happens if you just want to save the sprint burst?
Yeah,
Well, you're
I don't
gonna
think
need
that
like
would
urban
be
evasion. Like urban evasion takes up room.
True.
yeah. I think that would be the best thing to do. I feel like some people think it would be OP, but I mean, you're still going to be exhausted. You're going to sprint burst for what is it, like 3 seconds? It's not a huge. You're not going to get to the other side of the map. The killer's going to still be faster. He's still going to catch up eventually.
Or
But I think that would be
us
the best thing to do.
or give us a fifth perk slot
Yeah.
where like that could
For killers
change
too, or just survivors?
Just survivors. Come on now.
just survivors. Because okay, you gotta look at it this way. It's been heavily on killers already, and killers have more advantage than us because
Yeah,
like a fifth perk slot, but it can't be something. They should make it to where it's nothing that you could use an exhaustion perk or like a plain like a regular perk like what's the one that lets you see the killer when you're on hook?
Kindred.
Kindred. You can put Kindred on.
yeah.
Something small.
Or I think instead of having a whole new perk slot, just have each survivor has their own unique passive ability. That's not super strong or anything. It just gives you something unique to each survivor. So that because right now it doesn't matter what survivor you play. If you unlock the perks, every survivor is basically the same. If each one had its own unique passive ability, then I think that would make the game a little more fun, a little more customizable for each survivor, and then it would help give the survivors a slight boost. And then,
Like-
just give it so it's just something that's always there in passive. Nothing too powerful though, like an extra perk, just something that I don't know, gives you some kind of little boost.
Yeah, like let's say Dwight and his leader, that could be a passive perk. Like make each character basically a unique character to play.
Like Claudette has self heal automatically, so that way it's not taking up a perk slot. But I definitely agree.
With Claudette with her self care, dude, I feel like that should be like 5 seconds after you get hurt, and then after that 5 seconds, if you don't use it, oh well, too bad, so sad, like.
After you run
keep it on for the whole fucking game, dude. Like
you get an insta ban. Bento, what would you like to? What do you think about the state of it, and what would you like to see going forward?
I mean, I haven't been in the game too long. Like you guys said, like I'm still a pretty early player, and I do agree with that. Just the hitboxes, man, and like honestly, like jumping over pallets and stuff. Like I remember when it used to be you could stun the killer and then get away, but now it's like, oh, he can hit you over it after you get stunned, or while you're stunning, you get hit. Like that's not fair. Like why? What's the whole mechanic behind that?
Definitely some timing and mechanic issues with that.
Yeah, because like what if I run into a wall by accident? Like I'm prone to running into walls that I can't see in front of me sometimes because my blind ass, but And then the fact that head on is cool. Like it disappears after a while, also because that was way too OP. Like you'd be waiting in a locker for like 15 seconds, and then he's like standing there waiting for it. And then he comes towards you, and you're still head oning him. For a killer, that would irritate me also. So I mean, mainly the hitboxes and like just I feel like they made the what do you call this? The running mechanic of the survivor. So like you can't really dodge your killer unless you make like a full round on him. You can't just quickly turn on a dime and dodge.
Yeah.
Like how it used to be.
Yeah. And I think they said they had made a comment saying they wanted the running and, looping to be a little more realistic for the survivor movement. But there's so much in this game that's unrealistic that I don't know why they would focus on realistic movement. Like the killer doesn't move, I mean, granted it's a fictional character, but I mean, the killer can still 360 and spin around on a dime, but survivors can't
or
as
hook
much
to
as they
the
used
chest,
to.
you know, hook
Yeah,
to
like
the chest.
I've seen that way too much where like, oh, I'm dodging, and then all of a sudden he hits me with like a lunge from no tomorrow, like, you
Yeah,
know, and you see the killer just 360 as if like it's a helicopter, like, bruh, please.
yeah, exactly. And I'm sure every killer main out there is probably disagreeing with everything we're saying, but
All guaranteed. But I mean,
I mean, I play killer. I play about maybe 20% killer compared to my survivor. And, there's some things that I think need to be improved on the killer side too, but I feel like it definitely leans towards favoring killers just a little bit more. And I think it makes sense from a development standpoint because they need killers in the game to keep it going. You can't have every killer out there getting bullied and quitting the game, and then people lose interest because nobody wants to play killer. So I think they have to lean a little bit more on making it a little easier for the killer. I kind of feel like the game's designed for the killer to win, and you just have to be really skilled to get out. But yeah, I think I think they have it like that on purpose. And will it ever change? Probably not. But
Yeah,
hopefully we
I
get
don't
thrown a
think so.
bone here and there. As a survivor main, I hope we get thrown a bone here. Behavior, if you're listening, hopefully we get thrown a bone here.
Please, for the love of God.
Stop boarding up windows and adding walls into levels.
Unnecessary walls.
Unnecessary walls that weren't in maps before.
Or unnecessary bans, the game crash and you
That
get
yeah.
4, 5 minute, 30-minute ban.
Yeah.
As far as game crashes for bans, it's probably a issue where they can't really decipher whether you did it on purpose or not. But I think if it's like the game crashes and it realizes it crashed versus you didn't go in and click, disconnect or whatever, I think it should give you like a one time, like maybe like once per week, you don't get that ban because it your computer crashed or whatever, your internet went down.
Yeah.
So since you didn't hit that button, it gives you like a once per week or once per day kind of buffer, so that way you're not getting a ban because you had a slight internet crash or something.
Right.
But you say that like once, but let's say your internet keeps going out back to back to back.
Yeah,
like it's happened to me before.
You got kicked out for your ISP then.
But they need to figure out a different system. Like, yeah, you could code to where if somebody hits the quit button or leave, yeah, understandable to get that ban. But if you're gonna get a ban from freaking just a game disconnecting, and you're like, what the hell? You can't control that.
Yeah, I think they probably just had the ban in place though. If somebody gets, they rage quit and they pull out their Ethernet cable or they Alt F4 the game, I think they just want to prevent against that. But yeah, it sucks when you legit just disconnect for whatever reason. And a lot of times it's not even you, it's, it's server issues with the game itself that just disconnects you, and you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah.
And the fact it can't recognize its own server crash it's kind of wonky, but it is what it is.
Right.
So just to wrap up on DBD, because I mean we could go on DBD forever. What's I love this question. I always ask people this. What is one killer you'd like to see in the game?
One killer?
Like who, if you can pick the next killer, who would it be?
May I go first? I think honestly, what's his name? Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Would be pretty terrifying.
That would be very terrifying.
Because he could be like a Demogorgon, like putting up portals.
Yeah.
Just popping up wherever.
And then he has his minions as well, that come from.
No. Let's stay away from the zombies minions type things, please. We don't need those.
But imagine like he's whipping like chains at you to bring, almost like Slinger, like he could throw a chain and bring you back.
Ooh,
that would be disgusting, dude.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I love Pinhead. I'm a big Hellraiser fan, so I would have to agree with Pinhead also. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but we'll see. How about you, Baymax?
How about me? The Thing.
The Thing.
Ooh. Yeah. Dang. You shapeshift into a survivor.
Thank
bro.
you.
Oh, that's nasty.
Because you don't know.
But
And
the
then-
giveaway,
Yeah.
they had to have a giveaway at least, right? Like maybe glowing eyes or like.
Something, yeah, maybe like like something at their feet. You can kind of tell, you know, that they're not like a normal survivor or something. You know,
So if it's the thing, you can have
they're dripping.
basically shapeshift into a survivor, but
Yeah.
don't give you the notification that somebody died on Hook.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Don't give you the notification. So make deception for killer as well.
That sounds
and
very
then-
OP, Baymax.
Wait, hold up. But what's it called? Basically, you have no knowledge that someone's on Hook. Shapeshift, and then go quote unquote work on a gen, and then try to aim for the other survivors.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty cool.
yeah, that would be.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I would really like, just to touch on that real quick before we wrap up the DVD stuff, is I always would like to see kind of as like a troll thing, like during Halloween, maybe for like a month. I would like to see them just bring back like all the classic monsters like Dracula and what's the other one? Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's monster, just as like skins for like, you know, maybe the month of October. And, you know, even if it's kind of goofy, I think that'd be kind of fun. You get those
Yes.
classic monsters for
Dude.
that month for
Oh
Halloween.
yeah,
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, yeah, that boy. I think you could do a lot with it and just put them as skins for current killers or whatever. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Like how they did the Crypt TV thing, the skins for like the Doctor
Yeah.
with the look. See, I really like that one personally.
that one's really good. I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, as much as we you know, bitch and complain about DVD, it's one of my favorite games. I'm, you know, going to continue playing it. I might uninstall once in a while, but I always come back to it. So
Right.
it's
The next
definitely been
day.
a lot of fun. It's a
Next
fun
day,
game
get
to
the message.
yeah. Uninstall. I'm never playing this again, and then the next day, well, let me go ahead and re-download. But it's definitely a fun game to play with friends. So anybody out there that's listening who has never played Dead by Daylight, I'd definitely recommend it. Just, you know, take it
With a grain of salt.
serious. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it too seriously, because it's definitely easy to rage on it. And I think
I mean,
that's
I
almost
give-
any game that you play with other players. But
What would you rate
be
the game?
triggery. Like 1 to 10, 1 to 5, or
Yeah, like out of 10, personally.
1 to 5 stars. Sorry. Stairs.
Stairs.
1 to 5 adas. I would give it a like, yeah, well, 1 to 10, I would give it an 8, solid 8. I think it could be like a 10 if some of the mechanics were you know, a
Workable?
little better, and the graphics maybe were updated just a little bit to make it look a little more realistic. But I would say a solid 8. How about you guys?
Yeah, Bento, what about you?
Yeah, I would give it a solid 8 also, honestly, because it's fun, but it has its moments. I just want to throw my keyboard out the window and just never want to, you know, then use a N64 controller or something. But like,
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun in a sense.
definitely.
I give it a 7.
Ooh.
7. Hey, 7's not bad. That's above
Playing
average.
Playing 2,000 hours of the game and just seeing the hell the game has gone through.
Yeah.
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 So
And mind
like I
you,
said,
it's a 6-year-old game,
Yeah.
so
they need to work on their
It's
character
definitely
models.
it's definitely grew. Like I think it started off more as like a smaller game. Right now, it's kind of it's being crossed over with Resident Evil, so it's definitely come a long way. But yeah, updated character models would be nice for the survivors. Definitely.
Like they
but,
have potential. It's just they need to work on
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. They need to somewhat listen to the people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like
Not-
I think Bento had mentioned it's that X, or maybe you mentioned it, the X you keep going back to. It's like they have potential. It's just quite not there yet. You're not ready to put a ring on it yet, but you know, there's enough potential to keep going back.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a weird analogy, but that's what I'm going with. So Hey guys, just a quick interruption here for a quick plug for our Patreon. We do have a Patreon available if you enjoy the podcast and you want to support it. You can actually visit us at patreon.com/Modern Gaming Weekly. We do have 3 tiers available for support, and all profit goes right back into the podcast to bring you weekly episodes and to provide more and better content. So you can get early access to episodes, get mentioned in the YouTube Patreon episode credits, suggest topics for the show, as well as get behind the scenes photos and videos of the whole making process here of the podcast. It's pretty interesting. So please check out the Patreon. It is greatly appreciated by all of us here at the show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Thank you. So, all right, so wrap up the last 10 minutes here of the podcast. Episode numero uno. And if you're in the podcast world, it's episode 001. Wanted to go over some E3 highlights since that just happened.
Oh yeah.
And I unfortunately missed it, but I've been watching a lot of highlights, a lot of trailers from it after the fact. So there's some good stuff out there. But I don't know if one of you guys want to start off with what you are most excited for from the E3.
Most excited for E3, I think it would be from Gearbox, Tina's Wonderland or something like that.
Yeah,
from Borderlands. That's coming out. So it's basically a own standalone game from the Borderlands series that I'm actually excited for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've played a little bit of Borderlands. I haven't played too much of it. I have, I think I have a couple of them, like 1 and 2 for 360. I need to jump into them at some point.
I've only played Borderlands 2, so it's a pretty good game. I like it.
Yeah. Is there one, Bento, that you're most excited for?
Honestly, for Xbox, because I used to be a Halo player. Honestly, Halo Infinite. I'm just going to put that out there. You know, King of the Hill, that's my shit. So,
oh, come on. It's all about Griffball, man.
Oh, dude, Griffball, come on. So many trolls in that game. But yeah, the fact that like Halo is making a game that's free to play for multiplayer is a big change. You know what I'm saying? That Halo franchise was always like, yo, you got to buy the game if you want to play multiplayer. But like, I feel like it's going to be like Warzone, dude, honestly.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. We're going to get a lot of those sweats. I mean, if you play Master Chief Collection right now, you have all those sweats on Halo 2, Halo 3, not on so much 4, but you have all those sweats. And then, you have those God tier plays where they're having with the sniper and you're like,
well, yeah, because I mean, like, these are seasoned Hayabusa, like, sniping players. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like they've been in the game for like, how long has it been? Like 10, 15 years already?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So since Combat Evolved, like, I've been playing Halo since then, like, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's coming to PC, oh Lord. Oh
For
Lord.
sure, dude.
But the graphics and everything.
Yeah, when
I still remember playing LAN games in college on Combat Evolved, and
yeah, dude. I like so like in high school, there was this. I had a cool keyboard teacher. Every time like he wouldn't come in and the sub would come in, I would hook up everybody's computer in the classroom with Combat Evolved, and we would play like LAN matches left and right. We got in trouble for it, but it was totally worth it.
Oh yeah, always worth it. Yeah, a lot of fun.
What are you excited for, Abel?
To be honest, even though I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, the fact that they're coming out with Breath of the Wild 2, I'm excited for, because I want to jump into Breath of the Wild, the original, very soon. And then hopefully I can, power through it and jump into 2 when it comes out. I played the remake of Link's Awakening, which was a lot of fun. And just love Zelda. And then another classic one also, Metroid Dread. I haven't played a Metro game in a while. I don't think they've come out with one in a while.
No.
But yeah, it's one of those
for the Wii.
For the Wii.
Yeah.
It's just, and they had one right for GBA, right? There was or was it DS?
Let me check on that for you real quick.
No, the last one was for the Wii, and it was the other M or something like that.
The other M. Okay. I know they had a Fusion though. Remember? I think Fusion was probably maybe before the Wii one. But that one was pretty fun. But yeah, I haven't played a Metroid game in a while. It's one of those ones I grew up with. I think Metroid on the
they had
SNES,
one. It was
the one I played.
the Corruption one for the GameCube also.
Oh, okay.
Echoes?
Yeah. Wait, which one?
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember
It was Echoes.
Echoes.
I think that's what it was called. Metroid,
Echo.
Metroid Echoes, something like that.
That was in Echoes was in 04, and then Corruption was in 07 when it was Dark Samus and then regular Samus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited for Nintendo stuff again. I gotta admit, I kind of drifted away from it for a little bit during like the Wii U era. I got the Wii and Wii U way late in the game, and then Switch. I ended up getting my Switch. I didn't get the Switch right when it came out, but I got one. God, what was it, like mid 2020? And it's been a lot of fun. So I'm getting excited for Nintendo stuff again, and I can't wait. Hopefully they come out with like a Switch Pro or something soon. But won't speculate too much on that until we get some news. So we'll see.
Like all these listings popping up for the Switch Pro, apparently.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
It's a high possibility.
It's a possibility, yeah. But yeah, we'll see.
Do you want to talk about the shows on how their presentations went for each show?
Well, I didn't get to see a whole lot of it. I thought, what was the one that we were watching earlier?
Limited Run and
Limited Run.
Devolver.
It was interesting. Devolver.
Yeah.
Was interesting. They had a very odd presentation, but I'll take it. Some of the games look
chili
nice.
dogs, man. You gotta have chili dogs.
Yeah, and I had chili dogs today, so it was almost like it was meant to be that I watched that highlight. A big fan of Limited Run, obviously. Always happy to get physical games. So the fact that they still provide that physical copies and that kind of preservation of physical games, and I don't want us to jump into everything digital too quickly, because I think eventually it's going to happen. I think there's always going to be outlets like Limited Run that do present those physical options. Yeah, but it's dwindling now, unfortunately.
I think I will still stay forever physical with stuff. Don't get me wrong, yeah, digital, but you're gonna look at, like, let's say Sony comes out with another, like the PSP Go.
Yeah,
PSP Go was all digital.
Yeah.
What happened if they shut down the services? Can't get none of your games back.
Yeah, and that's a bummer, especially when you have some games that require you to be online. And then, I mean, there's PS3 games out there that you can't even play anymore because the servers are shut down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a bummer. But I'm always going to be a physical fan for sure. Being a retro game collector in general, I got to have my physical stuff. So, yeah,
it's like crack. You got to have your crack.
Yeah, it's some people collect Blu-rays, some people collect pops. I like old video games. Laser discs. Laser discs are a little pricey, dude. I wouldn't mind collecting laser discs. They're a little pricey though.
I remember having the laser disc for what was it? Oh my god, Die Hard and what's the one with Mel Gibson? He was a cop.
Gibson.
He was a cop.
Wow, it came to my head and now my mind just blanked. Lethal Weapon? Is it Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon.
There we go.
I remember having those on Laserdisc when I was growing up in Puerto Rico. But yeah,
my wife actually, she has a nice collection of beta tapes.
Oh
and,
wow!
She puts them out. I'm like, why do you have those out? We don't have a beta tape player. We can't watch them.
So that's the one that collects retro games.
I have, but I have every console. I can technically connect and play whenever I want. I'm just over here playing DVD.
So do you have an Odyssey too?
I had one. I picked one up at a swap meet and I sold it like a dummy. So inbox and everything, $15, and this is like maybe 10 years ago. And I think when I moved, I sold it, but yeah, I don't sell anymore. I used to buy games, and then when I wanted something else, I would just sell what I had and bought, the new stuff. And then I realized, hey, I miss all this stuff I'm selling. I'm going to stop selling my games. And since maybe like 2015 is when I've been collecting seriously. I've pretty much been collecting my whole life. I just end up selling a lot because, I didn't have money to get the new stuff, and, times get tough. So, but now, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'll go sell plasma now. I'm not going to sell my games. Take my body fluids, but don't take my games. But yeah, so yeah, it was a good show. I want to catch the rest of the highlights on it, but everything I've seen so far is it's pretty poggies.
Like the shows for Microsoft were like it was good for Microsoft. They did Halo, they did Starfield, and so on, some other games. Here came Gearbox. The only thing, the highlights for Gearbox was basically the Gearbox was basically Tina's Wonderland and the movie. The rest of Gearbox was It was like whatever.
It was meh.
Yeah, and from what was it? Who else did a show that day? Give me 1 second. And I know Capcom did theirs. Capcom's presentation was so boring.
Oh, really?
It was really boring. Don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard freaking Capcom fan. Capcom versus SNK. Give me Devil May Cry, Resident Evil,
Street Fighter.
Those. Yeah, Street Fighter. Yeah.
Give us Mega Man Legends 3. Or we riot.
They could have gave us that. Could have. I don't know what's their problem that they don't like Mega Man.
They don't.
They don't. They could have done freaking Battle Network series for the Switch, and it's just easily porting it over. And then from there, and like you have so many IPs that you could bring back, like Darkstalkers, freaking. You could bring back
Darkstalkers for sure. 3D Darkstalkers would be pretty badass.
Like you could bring back so many fighting games that they've done, and so many different IPs. Like a really rare game, Marvelous, the Misadventures of Trombone.
Yeah,
they could have brought that one back. A remake.
They could have done a remake. Yeah,
or they could have gave us Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 as well. But
the Mega Man Legends collection with Trombone on it. I mean,
they could have done that. Like look at Konami. Konami's releasing freaking what's it called? Castlevania.
Yeah.
They bring Castlevania Requiem. That comes with Symphony of the Night that came out for the PS1 and Rondo of Blood that came out for Super Nintendo. Like we're getting all these great games, but Capcom is giving us Monster Hunter Stories. Don't get me wrong, Monster Hunter Stories 2. It's an awesome game. Monster Hunter is awesome. But come on, you have so much potential.
Not only did they not give us a Mega Man Legends 3 2, but they left our boy on the moon, and they're like, "Hey, deal with it. That's what it is. You want him? Go get him. You want him? Go get him off the moon." It's unreal.
Like
some of the best Mega Man games, though, and I think they would make a ton of money if they came out with a 3 for Legends.
Like, give us a 3, or give us they gave us the X collection, but give us Command Mission, like the RPG Command Mission for Mega Man. Like, you have so much, but you're giving us like this little bit. Like, you gave us Resident Evil 2. Like, gave us Resident Evil 2, fantastic game, blew up. Gave us Resident Evil 3, you're like, but it's true. I'm not lying. Yeah. Like, Capcom presentation was boring as all hell. I fell asleep. Let's be honest. Yeah. I passed out on my chair because I was bored.
You're making me want to watch it now.
Oh, dude. It was so boring. I'm sorry, Capcom. Love you guys to death. You could have done a lot better. But yeah, like the best highlights were basically Devolver Digital making fun of subscriptions and such, and then they sold a $500 suit and $1,000 tape.
Yeah.
And then they announced like a lot of good games, and then from there, you had I didn't watch Square Enix. Ubisoft actually had a decent like Far Cry 6.
They had that Final Fantasy spin-off I saw. I forgot the name of it, but that one looks pretty
the
interesting.
Pixel Collection.
Mhm.
So they're coming out with the Pixel Collection. I think 1 through 5.
Okay.
That's coming out. I remember that because I read the patch notes through because they sent it through GameStop. And then from there, they have something decent coming out, but I mean, and Nintendo's presentation, was good. They started off with Smash Brothers. They're bringing a Tekken character in.
Yep, gotta love Tekken.
And then like from there, they announced WarioWare that we haven't seen since.
Those are always fun. Yeah.
They announced what else? They announced Breath of the Wild 2. I'm trying to figure out what else did they announce. They announced a bunch of little stuff, and I mean, it was well worth watching the E3 presentation for Nintendo. And Nintendo hasn't been
Psychonauts 2, another one.
Yep, Psychonauts was announced.
I saw that also.
If you look at the Psychonauts graphics from back then and now, it's like it was a slight difference, but upgraded graphics. But it's still like
it still has that style.
Exactly.
Very good game. Very underrated game, I think. Psychonauts. I don't hear a lot of people talking about like the original, but if you played it, it's a great game.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a good insight of stuff that's coming out here soon.
Oh yeah, like there's a lot of potential games that are coming out that are really good, and I can't wait for them.
Yeah. Physical, probably see if I get most physical, but I'm gonna probably Steam a lot of them too. We'll see.
there's certain games that won't, and I have to get physically.
Yeah,
like all my.
It just looks good on the shelf.
Games.
It just looks good, when you got in the game room or your bedroom or whatever. It just looks good to have those games up there, and you never know, some of them may be pretty valuable one day.
Right.
But yeah, I think should wrap it up. We're over an hour for the first episode, so hey,
wow,
it's the hour special.
Woo!
But that's going to be episode 1 of the Modern Gaming Weekly podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Again, I'm being joined by Brown Baymax and Bento Box Senpai. We're missing one. Our little bearded jalapeno, our little bearded jalapeno was not here today, but maybe he'll be in future episodes, whenever he can. So. But it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I can't wait to record the next episode. And Baymax, if you want to go ahead and just let people know where they can find you out in the socials, and if they want to follow you and find out more about you.
If you want to follow me on my socials, you can follow me on Twitter. It's BrownBaymax_TV, or you can find me as well on Instagram and on Twitch as Brown Baymax. I do stream every day. We are all hanging out. And that's where you can find me.
And Bento, where can people find you at?
Oh, yes. You can find me on my Twitter. It's Bento Senpapi. And if you would like to see us do our scuffed gameplay, like Dead by Daylight and so on and so forth, you can find me on Twitch under Bento Box Senpai.
Perfect. And then, mine, the Able Geek. You can follow me on Twitter, is where I'm probably most active. Twitter.com/the Able Geek, as well as my random Twitch gameplay here and there that I usually do play evening with the boys here, and you can search the Able Geek on Twitch and find me there as well. Or if you just want to follow the podcast in general, we do have a page set up at Instagram. You can just search Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast and it should pop up for you. Give us a follow. I'm going to post some pics and updates and new episode information. So yeah. So it was fun, guys. Thank you guys for being here. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for some games now. So
let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time.